Good evening and welcome to the program, The Nighttime Heat, on this beautiful Friday. This program is aired right here on Prime FM 105.5 and relayed by Radio Quatica in Bon County and Radio Gegema in Nimba County. We are also streaming live on Facebook. That's our Facebook page. That's the Nighttime Heat Facebook page. So if you want to watch live, you want to follow the show, just make sure that you go on your page, your Facebook page, either on the laptop you are using or your phone, and just tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do that, you're going to watch the show, you follow the show, and then you also share the show. In addition, you can also watch the show on our YouTube channel. I know you have a YouTube on your phone or your laptop. Just make sure you go there and you just tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do that, you subscribe and you hit the notification bell. And then you are live on the Nighttime Heat tonight. I'm sure you're quite aware that there are a couple of issues, and the big ones among all those issues, it's the arrest and subsequent detention of former Speaker for Nanti Kofa and four others lawmakers. We'll be delving into that. I know where you are sitting and watching or listening. I know, it somehow started to you, but we're going to look into that. And so at 8:30, also, listen, there's this strange movement in Sando County, and we'll be talking about that as well. Who are those who are illegally moving in the county or illegally operating? We'll be talking about that. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll have experienced, well-versed ambassador. He's been in the international community for quite a long while. And of course, he'll be on our show. That is at 9 o'clock. Ambassador Toga Gateway McIntosh. You'll be right here. That is at 9 o'clock. And of course, at 10:30, we shut the doors and walk out of here. Sabo George is my name. I'll be right back after the same.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Let's start.
Okay, and so we are starting now on the Nighttime Heat. I'm expecting my co-host, my panelist, Moses Sandy. As soon as Sandy joins us, we start the ball rolling. And of course, in relation to the arrest and subsequent detention of former Speaker for Nanti Kofa and four others, including Dixon Sibo, Abu Kamara, Priscilla Cooper, and the rest, will be speaking with a few individuals. Some lawyers will be speaking with them on their take concerning the arrests of those individuals. And so we're trying to establish contact with those we contacted earlier. But in the meantime, you can share the show. Just make sure to go on your Facebook page or your YouTube channel and you tap Nighttime Heat. You'll be live on the show. You're going to watch the show live, and on your Facebook page, you can also subscribe. And then also, you can watch the show on your YouTube channel. We are live on YouTube. Just make sure you go on your phone or your laptop and you search and tap Nighttime Heat, after which you subscribe and you hit the notification buttons there, and then and of course you're going to watch the show live. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on let's try to read a couple of what we're trying to connect with our friends, with some personalities that we contacted. Let's try to read some important upload some important information. Let me read this one quickly. The Liberia National Police have charged former House Speaker Jonathan Fonanti Kofa, along with Representatives Dixon Sibo, Jacob Debbie Abu Kamara, and Priscilla Cooper in connection with the December 2024 arson attack that severely damaged the Capitol building. Police Inspector General Gregory Coleman confirmed that those lawmakers are currently detained, although the statement said these, but I said those lawmakers are currently detained at the LNP headquarters as part of the ongoing investigation. Authorities estimate the fire caused over 8.6 million in damages, destroying key areas such as the joint chamber, the fourth floor, and the dome of the Capitol building. In the course of the investigation, the police have exonerated Representatives Marvin Cole and Frank Safoko of any involvement in the incident. The arson has been confirmed as a deliberate act, with investigators ruling out electrical faults and discovering multiple points of ignition, as well as containers with flammable substances at the scene. So, trying to connect with some individuals to speak with them quickly on the latest happening regarding the arrest of Fonanti Kofa, arrest and subsequent detention of Fonanti Kofa and 4 others lawmakers. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. We're trying to connect. Listening to the Nighttime Heat. Just make sure you go on your phone, on your laptop, and you just if it is your Facebook, just make sure you tap Nighttime Heat and you subscribe. I mean, you make sure you share the show so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also be on top of what is happening. And then also you can go on YouTube, either on your phone or your laptop. You also tap Nighttime Heat, just 3 words. You subscribe and you hit the notification bell, and then you are live. You are watching the show live. Let's try to, amongst those they arrested include Priscilla Cooper, the one individuals who had some close link with Priscilla. It's George Carlando. He took onto his Facebook page this evening, and he explained a couple of stuff. So try to connect with him to just tell us basically in details what was it that he's trying to talk about. Is he saying that Priscilla is innocent, and he being a lawyer and close to Priscilla, he's going to help in the legal battle? Is that what he's saying? So also trying to connect with him as soon as we succeed, we're going to bring the interview with him. But there's the big news tonight in Monrovia. Former House Speaker Jonathan Kofa, in fact, has been arrested and detained. He's currently behind the bars at the Liberia National Police headquarters, eating 4 orders. In fact, before we came on air, because what I know is that Councillor Arthur Johnson has been the lead counsel for Jonathan Kofa, the former speaker. But unfortunately, we tried speaking with Arthur Johnson. Councillor Johnson said, "Well, I'm no longer a lawyer for Councillor Kofa because he has refused to renew my contract after the case involving his removal. After I headed the case involving his removal, so Arthur Johnson is no longer the lawyer for Councillor Jonathan Kofa. Asa Jones is no longer the lawyer for Councillor Kufa. So I'm trying to connect with okay, let me connect to for Lafayette quickly. Good evening and welcome. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Good evening.
How you doing, Councillor Lafayette? Good. How you doing?
I'm okay.
Cool. Okay, so I'm sure you've been following since, in fact, yesterday the news broke that the Liberia National Police was inviting Councillor, former Speaker J. Fonanti Kufa and 5 others, but 2 were released. Marvin Cole and Foko were released. But as we speak, Councillor Kofan and 4 others, Priscilla Cooper, Dixon Sibo, Abu Kamara, they are all currently behind the bars at the Liberia National Police Headquarters. What's your take and what are you making out of all of this?
The first thing you have to understand that I form part of the family of the Ministry of Justice.
Mm-hmm.
I may not be the prosecutorial activity of the ministry because of my current assignment. The internet, I trust the professionalism of some of the prosecutors of the Ministry of Justice. And so I believe that the right decision will be taken, served in this matter. So what I can say is that I'm not sure whether the charges were reviewed before the Attorney General in the Republic. I'm not privileged with that information from where I sit, but I still believe that if it was reviewed, then it is a decision of the Ministry of Justice to proceed. They believe has some role to play in the burning, in the destruction of the So, I mean, the person in this country, Roland C. Kine, was arrested as a sitting senator. He was taken to court. He was acquitted. So, it's not a strange thing in our democracy country to have people in high-profile positions and being called into question and being held to account for actions that the government, the prosecution, the criminal conflict with the law. So this is just one of the instances. Other instances, we have Soko Brown during the Taylor regime. Soko Brown was a senator of Bomi County. He was charged for murder. He was removed. In fact, when he was expelled from the Senate, and he was prosecuted, and then you have Fanny Lick. Therefore, was also expelled on the charge of murder or some wrongful conduct. You were in Capital Benin at the time, and then later on he was accused of murder and he was sent to prison. So there are a lot of other people who we, that have gone through this. We want is that the evidence should be as strong and cogent, enough that any reasonable person will not have and find out. That's the case. People will walk free. We should trust the justice system, and we also put our hands around those guys who have come up with this decision now. What are the means to have to defend themselves, and then justice will be served. So yes, that's what the police have seen. We wait to see at the press conference that the police issued had today, whether the Ministry of Justice had the opportunity as well to review the evidence and come up with appropriate charge. I'm sure during the time the indictment, the appropriate charges will be in the indictment put for trial.
Okay, so if you came yesterday, let's assume. I mean, if you came tomorrow, let's assume you're going to join the government prosecution team, or what you're going to do.
It's up to me to decide whether I join the team directly or not. To me to decide the country in time. It's up to me to decide whether I want to recuse myself, whether I want.
Okay. Many thanks.
So I have to look at it. If I come back in time, I will have to look at the indictment and my prosecutorial eye and my own experience. I will definitely give an opinion on whether I join the team or not. But that is not an issue. The issue here is the Ministry of Justice is with authority to handle the prosecution of cases in the country. And I know it is sad. I know it is. I mean, like too far, members of the legislature or the governors and so we wait to see what justice have to tell the Liberian people.
Okay, many thanks, Councillor Gould. We really appreciate your time this evening. Many thanks. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Again, share the show. We have a lot in store for you. Just go on your page, your Facebook page, or your laptop and tab Nighttime Heat. You share the show on your Facebook page so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones can also follow and also enjoy the show. In addition to that, you can go on your YouTube channel and you tap Nighttime Heat. After that, you subscribe and you hit the notification bell. You're going to watch the show and be part of the show. Very, very shortly, we'll introduce our co-host, Moses Sandy. Very shortly, we'll introduce Moses Sandy. We're trying to connect with Ambula Mambi to just give us his take on the arrest and subsequent detention of Fornanti Kofa and 4 others. Let's try to introduce Moses quickly. Moses, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. Are you here?
Okay, Moses. Yeah, Moses.
Are you here?
Let's speak with. I'm listening to you. But let's speak with Ambula quickly. Ambula Mambi. Ambula, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Saba. It's good to be talking to you and talking to the people listening to the program.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you're quite aware of the big news. Although a couple of things been happening, but on top of those things is the arrest and subsequent detention of former House Speaker J. Fornanti Kofa and 4 others. How are you been reading? What's your reading into what's been happening today?
So about what happened to Liberia on, I think, December 18, or is it December or November, the day the fire got on the Capitol building? What happened to Liberia is 3,000 times more bigger than what happened today. On that day, the seat of our democracy was attacked. The seat of the rule of law was attacked and burned. Resources used from other countries, especially the United States, to help us build a platform for democracy was attacked. There is nothing more that has happened to Liberia since the war that is equal to what it did to the Capitol building. Fornanti and others' arrest and subsequent detention is just 10% less than what happened to the country. But we are concerned that they are arrested. We are concerned that they're going through the police process and they will eventually go to court. We hope the government can give them due process, allow their lawyer to put forward the argument against the charges against them, and the government can make the case. But what I wanted to say first on this call is Liberians should be looking at the danger that was caused, more than just those who are being arrested. Because what they did to the country is far more than what is happening to them now.
Now, the bulk of those, finally, before you leave, but the bulk of those who've been arrested are from the former ruling Congress for Democratic Change, and there's this argument. Some believe that they see it as an attack on that opposition bloc. Do you see it that way as well?
I don't see it as an attack. I don't see it as an attack on CDC. Unfortunately, those who are involved come from the CDC. So the CDC will try to separate themselves from those people who are involved. So, but if you follow the trend of events in the Capitol building, there are video documentaries to show that there has been a systematic attack on the group of people who refer to themselves at the time as majority black. Let me take you down memory lane.
Mm-hmm.
The first time they tried to enter the main chamber when Representative Funati Kofa was out of the country, the first time they attempted to enter, you saw the video of Representative Safoko. You saw the video of Mervyn Cole. You saw the video of Papi, the guy who they call Connor Green, and other people. They locked the door. They threatened them. They said, "We'll kill you." He insulted Thomas Fala's mother, and they prevented a session from occurring. The majority black left that scene. They went into the joint chamber. Why in the joint chamber? This same group of people went there again, removed the chairs overnight, destroyed the chairs so that they could not be able to sit. It did not stop there. They went back with pepper spray, attacked them, all targeted and directed towards preventing them from sitting and discussing legislative matter. So from the blocking of the door to the removal of the chair to the use of pepper spray, there has been consistent attack on the majority black, preventing them from sitting. Few days after that first attack, the second attack, the third attack, then came the fourth attack. Where did the attack occur? It occurred in the place where the majority black were sitting. It did not occur to where Funati and other people were sitting. So all the fire, all the attacks, physical attack that occurred during the political episode, everything was directed towards the majority black and nothing was directed towards the minority black. So it tells you those people who were involved in providing direction from the minority black side led by Kofa would be the first suspect. And that is why the police said they identified their persons of interest, investigated, have evidence. You listen to the police director.
Mm-hmm.
He said to get geospatial evidence. They managed to map them. They use metadata. We're talking about the external actors working with the Liberia National Police to provide metadata on where they were standing, what they were talking. He said they got both physical and digital evidence to link these people to the burning of the Capitol building.
Okay.
Let's allow the case to go to court. It is not against CDC. It is not against Unity Party. It is against people who allegedly attack the seat of our democracy.
Okay.
And I think
Many
CDC
thanks.
see it that way.
Many thanks. I really appreciate your time. Okay, Issa Ambula Mambo, and of course, you just heard him. Yes, Moses, let's work on you quickly.
Yeah, quickly. Just before Mame leaves, I want to say this.
He's off the line already.
Okay. The thousands of people that listen to Mame already came across as a judge. He convicted the people already. He said the date. What the date is, what, 300 or 3,000 times or whatever. He said they did this, they did that, they did this. And if this guy is saying they did, it means that the people have already been convicted. The police declared these individuals as people of interest. It means the police is suspicious of their activities. The police has linked them to a crime. And that's why they have been charged and will be forwarded to court. And when you listen to the director of police, he said, hey, we have evidence, but the jury will decide. To hear mommy come and say they did this, they did that, it's just unfortunate. And this is it. Look, I was speaking to you, Sober George. I want this matter to be probed. No Liberian, no one who loves Liberia, no patriot will want to see such thing happening in the country and people walking away with impunity. But when someone comes out and begin to make allegations, presenting it as evidence, it's very unfortunate. And that's the line that my man is towing. They did this, they did that, everything. He had literally convicted the individuals. So he had already convicted these
Okay,
people.
let's go there.
Because of the role of the police.
One minute, let's go there and speak for George Calando quickly. It's one person who's linked to have close connection, in fact, with Priscilla Cooper, and so he took on his Facebook page tonight and wrote a couple of words. Let's try to hear from you. George Calando, welcome to the Nighttime Heat.
Welcome, Asabo.
Now let's hear from you. We read what you wrote.
I wrote. I stem out every word. I pen down. So, but as you know, I'm representing her legal interests. Can you set a time for me on Monday?
Okay, we'll set a time for you on Monday.
Yeah, thank you, Sabo.
Okay. So you see, everybody's trying to find that legal counsel. He said he'd be going to represent Priscilla. He has a very close link, and I don't want to interpret that link. And so he will, he said he want to come on Monday to talk about, but took onto his Facebook page and wrote a couple of stuff indicating that she's innocent. Let's hear from a group that Moses Sandy, in fact, headed as president before. Let's try to read what the group released today before we can go back to Moses Sandy, written by the President Joe Kennedy. While we welcome government's ongoing investigation into the arson attack on Liberia's Capitol building, we urge that the process be conducted with transparency, objectivity, and thorough professionalism, applying a high standard of scrutiny and maintaining professional skepticism will help ensure the credibility of the investigation and guard against any perception of a politically motivated witch hunt. Accountability is essential, but it must be pursued in a manner that reinforces public confidence in the rule of law. Okay, so Moses, that's a statement written by your former institution that you headed.
Well, that's the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, AJA, which I'm a former president of, national president of. I strongly stand with the position of, or support the position of the current leadership of AJA. The matter must be probed. They are absolutely right on that, but we must do so with honesty, objectivity, neutrality, not taking a side. And what is happening with this investigation of SOBA, we see a slanted criminal justice system, especially at the level of the police. A crime occurred. The director of police went when an investigation was initiated. In the absence of evidence, in the absence of a written report, in the absence of a conclusive report on the outcome of the probe, the director of police preemptively declared to the world that what happened at the Capitol was an arson attack. At the same time, the president of the Republic of Liberia also came and undermined the probe. He also made a declaration that the Capitol is not a place of what? Hooliganism. It's not a place for hooligans, implying that the fire at the Capitol was allegedly set by hooligans. How did he derive at that? And guess what? After all of this, the Liberian government brought in investigators investigators from the United States, fire investigators who are having to have what? Close ties with what? Gregory Coleman. The investigators from the United States, Minnesota, they are personal friends of Gregory Coleman. They are personal friends of President Joseph Yuma Boakai. So now you tell me, Sober, you're watching this, you're following this development, giving the compromised relationship with these international investigators, the preemptive statements that emanated from the president. Do you think, or do you expect that these people will come in and contradict their friend, Gregory Coleman? They will come and contradict the president, Joseph Yuma Boakai? Don't get me wrong. I'm not supporting anything evil. I'm not saying that what happened at the Capitol should not be investigated. But like what I just said, this must be done with honesty. Our people need to be honest. They need to be neutral. And you can do it when you have a slanted position. The executive is compromised. The police is compromised.
Okay, Moses, I listen to you. I listen to you very well. You made your point. We're just hoping that like the police said, they do have the strong the evidence to pursue the case. So let's watch and see what happens. I know if the police didn't have, they wouldn't have indicted those individuals. Let's see what happens, because it's our responsibility to watch the process and report on the process as it unfolds. So let's see what happens, and we all can take it from there. But as we speak, for Nanti Kofa, former House Speaker, and 4 of his colleagues are currently behind bars. Moses will be taking a break quickly, and when we come back, we speak with the superintendent of Sano County. There's this strange movement of individuals that's affecting the stability of the county, and so we'll try to speak with him quickly. Let's try to speak with him quickly. Share the show again. Share the show. At 9 o'clock, we'll have Ambassador Toga Gateway McIntosh. He will be talking about, yes. How you doing, Soup?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. George. How are you?
I'm okay, Soup. And Moses, you want to welcome the superintendent of Sano County as well?
Yeah, sure. Mr. Superintendent, it's a pleasure to have you. Yeah.
Okay. So,
Mr. Superintendent,
1 minute.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Okay, Moses, the Soup was not here. Soup, that was the co-presenter of the program. But however, let's begin with the discussion quickly. How are you doing, and how's the country of Sano?
Sano County is doing well, but we're going to have a little problem because your voice sounds like you're far from your phone, so it's going to take me a little bit of time to pick up what you actually asked.
Okay, so are you getting my voice now? Are you getting me clear now?
I'm hearing you though, but sometimes I can't hear you, but now I can hear you a little bit.
No, the person who was talking was not Sabo. It was somebody far from the microphone. That was my co-host. So I'm sure you hear me clear now.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I was asking initially, how is Sano County?
Sano County is doing well. Then the county is calm currently. We have not heard any bad news from anywhere. The government agenda is in full swing. And that's it.
Okay, so let's hear from you. We want to get the confirmation about some strange or illegal movement of people, especially into your Sapo National Park. Do you care to confirm and tell us basically what's happening and how are you trying to address it?
Right. So when I took office as superintendent of Sano County, little did I know that there was some illegal encroachment in the Sapo National Park area. The park is a protected area that was passed into act by the Sano government somewhere.
Oh, hoping that he could call back quickly. We're hoping that he calls back quickly, so as to continue with the discussion with him. We're hoping that he calls back quickly. We just missed him on the line. We're hoping that he calls back. But you're listening to the Nighttime Heat right here on on Prime FM 105.5. Okay, this Soup is back. Yes, Soup, you were in speech.
Yeah, so little did I know there was some illegal issues going on, activities going on in the park until it was brought to my attention by the country representative from an organization called YG Pansy Foundation. So 20 somewhere on the 19th of April, I decided to go on an assessment tour to have a first-hand information to know exactly what is going on. So we went around the park and then had the opportunity to go around to visit all the communities around the park. Then I sent a delegation, I see a joint security delegation into the park to assess the situation and report to me while we were still on the tour. When they got to the park, they brought me this very, very disturbing videos. The videos of towns called America and a town called Afghanistan. A town about the size of half of Greenville is situated in the park. There are people in the park, and even there are graves into the park. So this raised a serious concern, and it was very disturbing. So I had to do a report to the office of the Ministry of Internal Affairs, and then accompanied it. Also to the office of the president. And then we had an opportunity to sit with the president and then give him a full detail of what is happening in the park. That's where we are right now.
Okay, now did you also investigate as to who are those people who've entered the park and what are they doing there?
Yes, I did an investigation, and then the investigation proved that the people that are in the park, some of them are foreign national, and some of them are Liberians, and actually they are carrying on illegal mining in the park. That's what happened, right?
Some foreigners. Now, were you able to, because just identifying them is not all to it, were you able to maybe let the police to arrest foreigners entering your park? Have they been arrested or are they still operating there?
No, we did not go. We did not go for arresting purpose. We went there for fact-finding mission. That was our fact-finding mission. We went there to see, actually to observe and then document everything we see at the park at the time we visited. And that's exactly what we did. We did not go there to arrest. And we never even had the manpower required to carry on any arrest because those guys at the park were also armed.
They're armed?
Right.
But that's a threat to your security, the security of your people as well. Did you determine as to how many they are in number?
Well, approximately the people living in the park, the illegal mining, are going to be somewhere around 200 to 250 persons. According to the report that was submitted to me by the security personnel that visited the park, and the video they brought to me also confirmed that. Now,
so I'm getting scared about 200 people, and some of them well armed. Don't you think it's a serious threat to the survivability and the existence of the country and survivability of the people?
It is, and that's why we submitted a report to the central government to take action. And I can assure you that there are some preparation going on right now for the legal action to be taken, for us to have the park clear of the illegal miners, and then try to have the communities around the park have to benefit from some economic and social empowerment as well.
Now, those people, were you able to inquire, especially the foreigners, as to which country did they come from?
Well, they come from multiple countries. Some of them from Ghana, some of them from Nigeria, some of them from the illegal mining has taken over Sano County. We have Gidepo, which is district number 3. We have a lot of illegal mining going there with even Ghanaians and even Chinese themselves are there. They are mining, and then we also try to find a way to have the proper authority informed so we can collaborate to see how we can get these people out of our waters, because they are using some chemicals out of our water they call mercury. They are using mercury into the waters to do the mining. Now, mercury is a very dangerous chemical. It has been bound in other countries because it's only in Liberia it's being used because
Yes, so you are frozen. So I think we have a technical glitch again tonight. So let's hold until we can hear from Mr. Silver George in Monrovia and the team at Prime FM. We're having a technical glitch, a technical problem again tonight. I hope everything can be clear soon. Yeah, today is a very important day in Liberia. You have the former speaker, J. Fonati Kofa, and four other lawmakers currently detained at the headquarters of the Liberian National Police in the wake of the fire incident at the capital. So they have been formally charged and linked to the crime. This afternoon, I had the opportunity of watching the news conference hosted by the director of police, and then it was reported that the former speaker, allegedly play a very critical role in the coordination of personnel and the coordination of resources for the execution of the reported arson attack at the capital. So he and the others were charged. The speaker is charged with criminal conspiracy. They also charged him with an attempt to commit a murder, and the list goes on. Several other charges. These are serious charges leveled against former Speaker Kofa. But I hope the law will prevail. There will be rule of law in this matter. Because these people are being charged and tried uh, in the wake of things that many may consider to be shady. We want to see rule of law, but when people are selective in terms of how the laws of the country are applied and how people are held accountable, that raises a lot of questions. And many of you will follow the situation at the Capitol. We agree that the executive has come across as being compromised. The executive, through the president, declared the situation or the incident as an attack. The president said the Capitol is not a place, the Capitol building is not a place for hooligans. The director of police also said it was an arson attack just from the onset of the probe. And what they are saying is the current speaker, Richard Kuhn, and the others, you saw what happened at the Capitol in the wake of the internal rivalry. These people broke the laws of the country with impunity. When the probe started, the government went after individuals, who supported the former speaker during the internal rivalry, and they are the one being investigated. Nobody from the quote-unquote majority black was ever called in for a probe. Is that how it should be? Well, you can't be talking about being a country of laws when your actions, depict the order. How do you talk about, adhering to the rule of law, holding people accountable, which sounds real laudable, plausible, but at the same time, you have a group of people at the Capitol sitting under the authority of Richard Kuhn. Last week they passed a resolution. They passed a resolution, seeking to legalize all illegal actions that they took. the passage of the national budget, decisions that they made, political decisions that they made, the removal of, various chairs and co-chairs of standing committees in the House, all of those actions that they took, and they passed a resolution, even though the Supreme Court ruled before that, hey, everything that you did that did not conform to the laws of this country, meaning Article 33 and Article 49 of the Liberian Constitution, everything that you did, those things are considered illegal. Now, they passed a resolution on Tuesday trying to legalize that. But guess what? While that is happening, you have those who stood Speaker, among former Speaker Richard Coon. Those people are being what? Prosecuted today on the allegation of setting the Capitol building on fire. I hope our criminal justice system will not let the people of Liberia down. This matter has to be investigated to the fullest. The government has made a very profound allegation against these people, and the government must prove its case in court. Let the government adduce what? The evidence. In criminal matters, we say what? There should be what? Preponderance of evidence. Meaning, you need to bring that overwhelming evidence to show that the former speaker, Dixon Sibo and the others, set the Capitol building on fire. Anything other than that will be considered absolutely wrong. So, let's pray for our country, and we hope that this will not drive another wedge amongst the people. In the meantime, I want to remind all of you that we are having a technical glitch with our team in Monrovia. So we're looking forward to the crew at Prime FM to resolve this problem as quickly as possible, so that my colleague Sober George can be able to come back and join me for the continuation of this podcast. I'm just trying to hold on here while the team try to sort out the technical problem. We had similar problem we had similar problem on Wednesday of this week. I don't know what is happening again tonight, but I hope we can have this under control. Yeah. We have a lot on our plate to discuss this evening, and we're really hoping that things can be resolved as quickly as possible for the discussion to continue. I want to say welcome to all of you who are watching the podcast, and I want to wish you well. I know the weekend starts today. Today is Friday. I know in Monrovia, you know what it means. Like when it is Friday, everybody go out to socialize. So if you're out there having a great time from nighttime heat, I want to say have a great evening. I see my friend Soba. Soba just came through. Soba, I know we're having another technical glitch again, but it's good to see you back. Welcome.
Yes. Thank you. Basically, we're off initially, but we are back on. And of course, I've been conducting the interviews with the superintendent of Sano County, and it made a startling revelation about some individuals who are holding holding arms. Over 200 of them occupying the park. I try to see what I can speak with the senator of Sano County, a man who has been going there for almost every week. He's there. What he's concerned about the stability of his people, especially with foreigners holding arms and carrying arms and occupying the Sapo National Park. Let's see what we can get Duncan quickly. Creighton Duncan. Duncan, welcome to the program. Hello? Oh, it seems Duncan, it's not picking up. We'll try to call Duncan quickly to hear from him because it's troubling. At 9 o'clock, we'll have Toga Gawe McIntosh, an experienced, well-versed diplomat. He's been working the foreign service for quite a long time. He will be joining us. That is at 9 o'clock tonight. We'll be asking, how does our representation on the UN Security Council, that non-permanent status, how does it upgrade our image as a country and our profile as well? How does it? And how does it in fact affect the lives of the ordinary Liberians? Yes, it's one thing to celebrate it, and which we are celebrating, because can you imagine, man, since the 60s, and now we are, re-entering, it's historical. It's something that, that requires a celebration, and which we are celebrating. But how does it, you're going to explain to us, how does it work in the international community? What's going to happen for Liberia? How do we carry out the representation as we sit on that non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council? So trying to make sure that we speak with him as soon as it is 9 o'clock. Ambassador Toga Gawe McIntosh will be right here. A revered diplomat, someone who is highly respected internationally, respected nationally as well. You'll be helping us to understand. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Let's try to take a break quickly and be right back. Let's take a break and be right back. Welcome back to the Nighttime Heat. We are right here at 9 o'clock. We'll be playing host to experienced and well-versed Liberian diplomat. He's Toga Gawe McIntosh. We won this city. We got to continue to make the noise. We got to continue to beat the drum, so that the world knows that Liberia is now on top of the city. Yeah, no other things will happen, but this is historical. This is something that we cannot seize. We can just, hey, it happened yesterday, and so since we talked about it, it's finished. No, and that's the shortcoming, that part of the excesses we have. We don't celebrate ourselves. We do it one time, 2 times, when that's all. We don't. Let's try to beat this drum. This drum that we have been elected, we've been won the seat at the UN Security Council. Let's try to beat this drum for even up to a month. Our people want to hear the positive. It's not just always the negative. Let's try to beat this drum continuously. And I think about close to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or Information, we're gonna pump some money into appearances. Let people appear and talk about this. This is Liberia. If we score the successes, it's not the Unity Party, it's not the CDC, it's not the ANC, it's all Liberians that have scored. And so we have to beat our own drum. We have to celebrate it. So it's not just about one time we talked about it and then we leave it. No. You know what it means, man? There are other countries that want to ascend to that level. Of occupying that seat as a non-permanent member. So if Liberia today, after 61, since the 61 or 60, if today Liberia is occupied, we have to beat the drum continuously. We have to celebrate. Let's not allow anything to distract us. Yeah, things happen in the past. Let's not allow any new development to overshadow our victory. Yes, let me hear from you, Moses Sandy. I'm so spirited tonight.
Yeah, man, I can see your high spirit.
Oh yeah, I'm so spirited tonight. Somebody can say Ezekiel. I'm spirited tonight. Not Ezekiel. No, I'm spirited.
Yeah, but it is good to be Ezekiel. Being on the Security Council means a lot. But like you said, what are the marginal benefits? What will we reap as a country? And there are also expectations. Being on the Security Council, it means that you yourself, because the Security Council focuses on global peace, conflict resolution, good governance. So there are expectations for you as a country being on that Security Council. Now, let's look at ourselves with what is happening. One of the greatest challenges we have in our country is failure to adhere to the rule of law. Right now, we have a group of lawmakers who are being prosecuted, on the allegation of setting, fire at the Capitol building. But guess what? You have a bunch of lawmakers in the very legislature who violated the laws of the country with impunity, and they passed a resolution saying, hey, everything that we did that violated the laws of this country, all of those things are now considered what? Legal. Are we not contradicting ourselves? We say rule of law. But you broke the law. Someone got paid for 7 months as a speaker, even though he was never speaker. And this man come, he said, hey, let's pass a resolution that says everything that we did, they are considered what? Legal. We cannot be held liable. But these are the same people that are turning around to prosecute other lawmakers on an allegation that, hey, they set fire. Don't get me wrong, Sober. Like you and I, we want to see justice prevail, but it cannot be on a selective basis. And that's one of the challenges we have. Our criminal justice.
And when you talk about selective, what do you mean, Moses?
When I say selective, if you're going to hold lawmakers for allegedly setting fire at the Capitol, then you should also hold Richard Kuhn and others who violated the Constitution of Liberia, with impunity.
I think Moses, let me come. I think the issue of Speaker Kuhn and his colleagues who were acting under the majority bloc. I see the issue of the violation of what you term violation of the Constitution. I think, Moses, that is behind us now. They violated the Constitution, and all of us beat on them, and we all advocated that they go to election, and they managed to go to election. At the end of the day, Speaker Kuhn emerged victorious. So I think that is behind us. What we need to, we need to start thinking about or concentrating our effort on is how we can move the country forward. Yes, what happened today, yes, it may be in line with the rule of law, which we all hailed and we all won, that the law takes its course. But let us not see it as going back, because it already happened. The Speaker Kuhn and his colleagues, they have violated. We all beat on them, and they went to elections. In fact, we were drumming it that, hey, go to election. We are illegal speaker. And finally, they went to election and they won the seat. Now the government has taken a decision to pursue or follow the case, which had to do with the branding of the Capitol or portion of the Capitol. Let's look at what happened. Let's follow the process, the legal process. Now that the 5 individuals, including the former speaker, they've been they've been arrested and subsequently detained. Let's follow the process. Let's see what happens on Monday. I know on Monday the lawyers may have the time, the opportunity to bail them out. So let's see what happens. In fact, like I said before we came on air, I managed to get in contact with Councillor Arthur Johnson, thinking that he was still the lawyer, and he said to me, "No, I'm not the lawyer of former Speaker Kofa." I said, "But what happened?" He said, "Well, he's ended the contract with me, and I was not going to force it for him to renew the contract." So he said, "Well, he didn't want my legal service anymore, so he ended the contract. Now he has Jonathan Massaquoi and others." So I said, "Well, okay." So again, let's see what happens, and this is the reason why I continue to say, Moses, all is not lost. We can allow the negative or the big story or the negative story, the cold story to overshadow the recent victory, by securing the seat on the non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council. Let's try to drum that, and that's the reason why I thought it prudent for us to invite the learned and well experienced diplomat Toga Giwe McIntosh will be shortly joining us. Yes, Moses.
Yes, I agree. I agree that the ambassador they will be able to tell the people of Liberia tonight, what do we stand to reap as a country, the marginal benefit from this. But I'm sure the ambassador or the former foreign minister will agree with me that, hey, there are expectations, and adherence to the rule of law is one of those cardinal expectations beyond the Supreme Court. You cannot, being on the Security Council, you cannot be advocating for global peace when you yourself do not respect the laws of your country. So we need to hold ourselves accountable on that basis. And this should be across all spectrum. It should be across all sectors of government. That's the point I'm driving.
Yes, I agree with you, Moses. But I'm still saying that we need to celebrate the positives, and not to always dwell. But let's introduce our guest tonight, the Reverend diplomat, well experienced, well versed. Toga Giwe McIntosh. Okay, he just went off again. We saw him at the backstage, but he went off. So hoping that he can rejoin us so that we can start the discussion as soon as possible. Again, you're listening to the Nighttime Heat. On this program we said we bring all voices together. This is not a one-sided program that you listen to. You only hear about the government, or you listen to and you only hear about the opposition. No, this is the program that when you listen to, you hear all sides, and then you can do your own judgment. It's not a program for one side. It's a program that serves everyone. The non-position, the imposition, the opposition, the Yanabos, the marketers, everybody can come on this program, because we believe we can do things the same way. We have to be different now. And if you listen to some of the shows during the night hours, they are all one-sided. We felt that it's quite unnecessary. We need to serve everyone. So that's the reason why we sought to bring this program, or introduce this program, the Nighttime Heat. So again, you can share the show. Just go on your phone, on your phone. And you tap Nighttime Heat. Well, you have the search. You just go there and tap Nighttime Heat, and you're going to watch the show and follow the show. Want you to share the show, so that your friends, your relatives, your loved ones, they all can be on top of what is happening. And also, you can go on YouTube. I'm sure you have YouTube on your phone or on your laptop. You can go there and just tap Nighttime Heat. As soon as you do that, you're going to watch the show live on your YouTube channel, and then you subscribe and hit the notification. When you do that, you don't have to hit the bell anymore. So as long as you subscribe, anytime the show is on, you're going to watch the show clear on your YouTube channel. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. We're still expecting Toga Toga Gateway Marketers to join us on this platform. Yes, Moses.
Quickly, so I just want to talk briefly about the situation in Sino County. I'm a little bit shocked to hear that the superintendent reported that there are, individuals in the county with no legal authority carrying weapons. So the question that comes, what is the role of the police in the county? Don't we have immigration authority? What are these people doing? Look, so our national security is threatened when institutions of government, especially the security sector that's supposed to be looking out, protecting the country, protecting the safety of the people, when these institutions are underfunded. How do you how can you have a group of strangers in your county moving with weapons unchecked? How did they bring the weapons in the country or in the county? So what?
Yes, it's troubling, Moses. In fact, and that's the reason why I think 2 or 3 times I asked that question as to what has been done to arrest this situation. You can have a group of foreigners carrying arms in the Sapo National Park, especially illegally. You don't know where they come from. Like he said, I asked him whether he knows the country that they came from. The country that they came from, he said, well, they came from multiple countries, not specific. We thought that they were just Burkinabes, but a couple of countries that they came from, and they are carrying arms. So it's troubling. It's troubling, especially to hear that from the superintendent of the county. Yes, it's true. And sometimes, Moses, I don't like to hear this statement really often. I inherited it. Yes, it's true. People can inherit, but that's the reason why you've come to change what you've inherited. You can't say, well, I inherited it, and you've been there close to 2 years. You've been there close to 2 years, yet you are still inheriting. You are still inheriting. So we're hoping that, I think Dr. Gary McIntosh is now on. We see him, in the backstage. Dr. Gary McIntosh, welcome to the Nighttime Heat. Well, I think his internet is a problem. We keep on initially we're hoping that he can succeed.
You can let him call in. What do you think?
Yes, let me start again. If you can, then maybe you can call him, but I thought that it's not necessary to have him on the screen.
Yeah, but coming back to what we were saying while we are with the ambassador to come in, the county officials, I'm sure this did not come to the attention of the county just yesterday.
Yeah.
It didn't happen overnight. If they have seen strangers in the county carrying weapons without authority, what did they do? Did they elect national security? Did they elect the Ministry of Internal Affairs? What did the ministry do to help address this problem? Let me stop there. I know Dr. Gateway is ready.
Yes, I think Dr. Gary should be on now. Dr. Gary McIntosh, welcome. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I see you struggling to get on. I know technical issues. Anyway, welcome to the program. Okay, so Dr. Gary McIntosh, let me ask my co-host to also welcome you, my panelists to welcome you also. Moses.
Yeah, Dr. Gary, it's a pleasure to have you tonight. I've heard about you. Thanks for all the good things you continue to do for Liberia, especially in the era of diplomacy. We are proud of you. Thank you for your great job. Welcome to the show tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dr. Gary McIntosh, it's good that you've joined us tonight. We really want to know more about our historic re-entry on the seat, non-permanent seat of the United Nations. You've been working in that community for a couple of long time. You understand. You know what it means. But first, we want to know from you, how does that upgrade our profile and our image as a country, as a people, sitting on a seat as a non-permanent member? How does that?
Well, first of all, let me begin by saying thank you for the invite, and
Okay.
let me also congratulate our country and all those that had their hands in the background, our friends from around the world that gave us this verified vote. If you look at the minimum required number, we exceeded it by a substantial number. And so let me, on behalf of myself and I think some of my friends and countrymen, congratulate everybody that got involved and our partners from around the world. And thank you for this platform. I think it's about time some of us talked about this matter, particularly having won the seat, which is just one aspect, moving forward with the seat, which is the most critical aspect. I agree with you. I think we need to just play around the ideas tonight.
Okay, so the
Now,
first question.
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to go to your first question, which is.
Go ahead. Go ahead. How does it upgrade our profile? Yeah.
You know, the impact of these matters are very critical to any nation that happens to get on it. Well, our image and so forth, obtaining the seat it will have a significant impact on Liberia's image and our profile. Now, I'm choosing certain words here. I want to choose the word it could have a significant impact. And I will tell you why I'm using the word could rather than would.
Okay.
Because if you look at it, we can enhance our global standing. That's elevating Liberia's status and our visibility in the international affairs. When we get on our global stand, it means the world Liberia, the country Liberia, will have a strong voice in making critical decisions that will affect international peace and security. You know, definitely our diplomatic. Are you getting me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead. We're listening to you.
Oh, okay. It will allow our voice to be strong and be critical in affecting international peace and security, which are the two cornerstones as far as the UNSC is concerned. Then, given our reputation of peace and stability since our civil war, I think we will be sending that message clearly. Now, when it comes to the issue of the opportunities that we will get for international cooperation, the opportunities are immense. Being on the seat, states to deal with global challenges such as, for example, terrorism, disarmament, non-proliferation of weapons, mass destruction, and all of these things Liberia voice on behalf of our constituents. Remember now, we are not there just as Liberia. We have a constituency. It is our voice speaking on behalf of our constituency. So these packages can come. And that's why I'm using the word could, because it requires certain things to make it happen after winning.
Now, let me take you back to the history first. Is this the first time that we've secured a full seat, or we had a full seat before?
Breaking up.
You getting me now?
You are breaking up.
I think that's your internet. Are you getting me now? Mr. Basso, you getting me now?
Now I can get you.
Okay. I was asking the question. I want us to look at the history of this whole non-permanent seat. Is this the first time that we've secured a full seat, or we had a full seat before?
Well, Liberia had a seat before, and this was somewhat maybe so many years ago. I think in the 60s, we've had a seat, a non-permanent seat. At that time, there were only 99 members. 99. And now we are 189 or 87, thereabout. But at that time, we were 99 countries. And when we put in for the seat, as you noticed the other day, is a voting procedure. And you have to have 2/3 of the members present in the General Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
The last time Liberia voted for it took 7 rounds. In other words, they put a ballot on the table. No country got the 2/3. We didn't get the 2/3. Then they opened it 40 again, and it took 7 rounds of diplomatic shuttling, renegotiations, recommitments. So we went 7 rounds. It was on the 8th round that Liberia got the 2/3. And yes, we have said before, but many, many years ago, when the Security Council was just 99 members, when the world complexities and the issues that were surrounding had nature of their role, the Security Council role, were not as grave as they are today. And this means the responsibilities get bigger, stronger, as opposed to the time we had it. But yes, Liberia has had it only once, and this is our second, but in a long time that nobody can hardly remember.
Now, I know my colleague Moses will shortly come in. Dr. David McIntosh, winning a seat is one thing, and playing the role that we're supposed to is another. How does this work? Are we going to sit here in Liberia and play the role, or are we going to set up offices in the at the UN and also staff the office and get resources in playing the role?
Well, what you are now raising, perhaps I can answer it from 2 angles. Then the first angle is actually, we said as member of the Security Council, as a country, you want to have an impact. Your presence on that seat must have a positive impact, and it must be able to be felt. Now, to do that, there are certain things that are important. Certain things are critical. One, for example, your active participation. Because during the debates, when they are talking about Security Council meeting, you should be actively engaged in the discussions and the decision-making process within the UNSC. And that means you have to think deeper, you have to think constructively, and you have to have strong research around any critical issues that come on the table, particularly during the open debate and the behind-the-scenes negotiations. So that's another critical thing for your impact, for your impact, yes, to be felt and your profile raised. You must engage. It's true, you must initiate and support relevant resolutions. You can't be there like a bobo. You can't just be there after 2 years. There's nothing to hardly say and beat your chest. Say Liberia was here. So that means you have to initiate in some cases, and you have to understand resolutions that are coming and be able to support it logically, not sentimentally. And these are things that will be addressing key global issues such as conflict resolution, issues relating to peacekeeping, humanitarianism, aid, and all of these things, you must be prepared to deal with them diplomatically. The other one that is critically important is you have to build alliances. You know, you can't be there. It is not all by itself. There are countries' interests here. There are groupings. There are all sorts of issues going on behind the scenes. And you have to build alliances. You must be able to communicate your issues. I'm saying all these things, my dear brother, and to the listening audience, is because I have had an opportunity of sitting around the board table of the World Bank. Even though the issues were beyond, it were not a question of peace and security, but there were issues, critical, developmental issues. And when you sit there and you represent your constituency, the kind of research you need to be able to sit around that table and make your statement. If you don't want to be a bobo person, you need a quality team. And capacity building is important. You have to assemble the right team, and you have to now build the capacity to be able to do these things. So in short, you know, we have to just take advantage of this opportunity that have just come. We must be able to respond so that the world will be more than cool. That we will benefit. We will benefit. We will enhance our visibility. If not, we'll just be there to say we were there. After 2 years, the world will hardly remember that we were sitting in that seat.
Moses?
Yeah, you know, Dr. Gabriel, I want to applaud you. You know, you just confirmed something that I did when I did a little bit of research on the Security Council, and one of the disadvantages of being on a council is the work is very overwhelming. Like you said, you have to be well researched. You have to know the issue. You have to be able to articulate the issues. So, with that said, do you think with our permanent mission in New York, are we ready to really step up in meeting these expectations? Because you said we need a real crack team. Do we have that team that will support the permanent representative?
Well, we have to differentiate the two things. The permanent mission to the United in New York is the permanent mission to the United Nations. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is a permanent mission to the United Nations, specifically working within the context of the General Assembly. So, within the General Assembly, there are a number of committees. So your mission must be participating in some of those committees. So it requires a real focus on General Assembly matters, which is very, very broad. They have committees on this, committee on that, and the country has to have representation, get information, process it for the ambassador to handle. The seat, the Security Council seat, as I say, is on another extreme. It happens to be one of the critical, highest decision-making body when it comes to peace and security. Now, in that context, you take the seat on behalf of your constituency. So what normally pertains is that you will have a separate office, a completely separate office. And it goes back to the first question I was asked. Who sits there? To start with, it is the president of the Republic of Liberia. Then it is followed by the foreign minister, and then followed by your ambassador. In other words, as the issues become thicker and thicker, it rises to those levels. Now, there will come a time that within a year, during that period of your tenure, which is 2 years, you will serve 1 month as chairman of the council. Now, when you're serving as chairman of the council, the support staff, the whole gamut, you can rely on the staff at the embassy or at the chancellery. We have the chancellery there giving visas, and you have the permanent office running the affairs within the General Assembly. So the critical question now is, what kind of capabilities do you need to do an effective job? It can be the mission. And even if it were the mission, the staff that is at the mission, they are very limited, and they are the kind of skills you need to deal with the complexity of peace and security. The diverse skills are not there. So what happens is every chair around that table, they have their own clique of specialized analysts, political analysts, diplomatic analysts, good researchers to be able to supply the person who will be sitting at any time, whether it's the president, whether it's the foreign minister, information. Now, to come to navigate those complex critical issues and work towards consensus building on critical matters, that is the critical challenge. And what you require, in fact, let me go over it very quickly from my notice. This is the crux of the matter to the question. Team commitment. Team at home, team in the embassy, team within the Security Council. And that team, when you talk about team, you're talking here about the quality of a diversified delivery team, the team that can deliver. The Security Council meets practically 24/7. The issues are tough. They start very early in the morning. Sometimes they go until midnight. So you cannot have, teams that are, first of all, very far away. They must be near the seat, near First Avenue, somewhere in that Manhattan area, because you can go to work very early. You cannot be late if you are sharing a committee and so forth. Then you have the question of commitment of the delivery team, their commitment. First, the quality, the best and the brightest, the well-trained, the well-experienced, you must have that quality. Then you are now talking about the commitment of that group. Because if they are not committed, no matter what quality they have,
yes, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead, Ambassador.
Yes, so that's very, very critical. And your question was, are we prepared? Well, we've vied for the seat. Once we've done that seat and we got it, we have to prepare ourselves. We got 6 months to effect the decision. So it means we got 6 months to really prepare for the takeoff. We got to prepare for the takeoff. And somewhere there, some of us have been giving some thought. If you are aware, I've been involved in this exercise along with my colleagues, ex-foreign ministers. And so we've been talking amongst ourselves. Some of us had the privilege of going on mission on behalf of the president and the country on this matter. And so I've been giving some thoughts about this preparation for execution. And perhaps as we go through this discussion, I may give my views on it.
Okay, you may get your view on it. You're listening to the Nighttime Heat. Our guest here is Dr. Toga Gary McIntosh, an experienced diplomat. He's trying to share his thoughts and views, trying to make us understand what the whole UN Security Council seat is all about. Like we said, it's not just about winning a seat or getting a seat, and then we just blow over one day. We have to continuously promote our effort and talk about this thing.
Repeat the question, I'm sorry.
Well, Dr. Gary McIntosh, let me ask. Yes, I'm coming. Let me ask you. You made reference to a couple of requirements. What we need to do to be prepared, to as we sit on that seat. Some of our representations. What we need to do. Now, let me ask you. You've been around. You've sat in the.
Didn't hear the question.
Now, the question is, you've been around the current administration, and you know the thoughts of the and you know the thoughts of the president and the foreign minister. What have you been gathering? Do you think the necessary modalities will be worked out? Do you think the necessary support from the government will be given so as to make us prepared for?
One good thing is. The second thing is that she is fully aware of the tax that is ahead. And that's another good thing. So you don't have to go try to convince her on it and so forth.
Okay.
I was privileged this morning to have a very brief discussion with her. I had gone in to actually congratulate her. And she made a comment, and that comment is assuring that sooner or later the cabinet is going to be seized with this matter as an agenda item. And following the briefing on the president, then the cabinet will meet, and then they will get hold of those of us who are former foreign ministers to come and just chat with them and discuss this. I think that's a very good way to go. So she fully understands this. I also had a short chat with some of the ambassadors at large after I left her office. And the reason why I was doing this, I'm still doing this, is that to be effective, you have to be prepared. And those of us who have this experience, I mean, I just talked about the World Bank, but certainly it's a very interesting experience when you represent the interests of the people. You have your constituency, you got to go serve and leave a mark. Serve and leave a mark. We know what Africa needs now. Africa, Asia, those countries, counting area that have no permanent seat. There's a debate going on. There's a whole debate going on the reform of the Security Council. And so our team that is there representing this block A3 they call it, representing block A3, I believe we have the opportunity to shine. Liberia has the opportunity to shine. And I'm happy that the foreign minister is aware. I'm happy that she has plans how to approach it. The only advice I got is that we got less than 6 months to do it. You got this year. In addition to your present business, we got to find time, or you got to put aside some thinking group, some strategic thinking group to prepare us for this very, very noble task that is ahead of us.
Okay. Yeah, Moses. What?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback quickly. Dr. Gary, help educate us tonight. Do we need another person to be appointed exclusively as our representative on the Security Council? that will help to manage that office?
Do we have what?
I mean, do we need to appoint, will the Liberian government appoint another ambassador?
Yeah, do we have, sorry, some,
Okay, or Sobot, ask a question there.
Yes, he's asking, Dr. Gary McIntosh is asking, what do we need to appoint someone else to go to manage the office, or we need to leave that with the ambassador there?
no, you usually my own critical advice would be, first of all, I don't think once you just appoint easily. I suggest, and I will say, there are a lot of sticky issues that have been on the Security Council over the last 5 years. Now, if you're not involved in the Security Council, as we have not been, we're not cognizant of those critical issues in substance. We may know them, the Korean War, the question of what's happening in Palestine. We may know them on the surface because we're not involved in the details. So if you're now to go and occupy the seat, we need to understand those sticky issues a little bit better. Then Africa itself, African Union, particularly, and the regional groupings themselves, they have issues with the issues of peace, security, border matters. They have issues of the reform structure of the Security Council. We then need to undertake some kind of a snapshot survey. Let me call it a survey. It can be literature, desk review, with spot, commented with some short field visits. And let's get an indication of those major issues that are of concern to Africa vis-a-vis the mandate of the Security Council, the structure of the Security Council, and some of the critical issues on the table. And then, where are the funds coming from? What kind of strategies will we put in place? The sources. The staffing now comes to play. Now, as I said, at the ground root level, that's the ambassador, our ambassador in New York. The foreign minister follows. The foreign minister could go there, particularly when we are cheering, can go there and spend the full cheering, not the whole year, because 1 month, we only cheer for 1 month. During that 1 month, the seat is occupied by the foreign minister. Now, when during that month or at any time there's a critical international global issue, Mr. President shows up. That's the seat. So it's not a point. Who you appoint now will be that secretariat in the background. That's the point. So you will need a major coordinator or head of the team. You recruit the best, the strong person who can work, not just, be bluff, but someone who can work, because I know our country, we had experiences in the past. We're appointing people to ECOWAS. We didn't do our homework very well, and so forth. So somewhere along the lines, to prepare to execute that seat we have taken for 2 years, the person who's in the chair, we already know. The president, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and the ambassador. And those people, they will play their diplomatic role well, but they have to be given all the necessary technical, diplomatic, and professional guardians to execute. So I hope that answers your question, because if they don't recognize that, and we just go and just start appointing politically, no people in that place, then we got trouble. And sometimes you can use your staff in your office for a certain period of time. That helps to even build their own capacity. They can come from the ministry and go. Some of them who most likely 1 or 2 can come from the presidency and go, deal with certain issue if it is coming, come back. That's their own capacity building in terms of international diplomacy and international issues. That's not a bad thing to do, but you must have that constant. Look, let me give you an example, if I may. I was representing 22 African countries on the board of the World Bank. Now, for me to carry out my job effectively, I had 10 plus 1 advisors. Then I had a deputy executive director. We then brought it up. And those people, 7 of them had their PhD in finance or economics with nothing less than 20 years working experience at their national levels. So what did I do as an executive director? The agenda comes up for next week's debate. I give it to my deputy. My deputy assigns it to the appropriate advisor. For 2 days or 3 days, that advisor is researching on the subject matter to be discussed on the agenda. And then they prepare a statement, my statement. And when I go and sit on the board table, I'm talking with those guys that were in the background, what they have done. And then you are effective. So it's not you sitting there particularly. Your effectiveness comes to play, your ability to understand those issues that come to you, package them well, and deliver them appropriately and effectively. That's where you come in. But the work is the people behind, the people who will be supporting, will be sitting in our chairs. So we got to do a lot of work.
Okay.
Now,
All right.
do we wait until next year? The answer is no. We start now.
We start now. Okay. Dr. Gary McIntosh, it's one thing that we've won, and we are now going to occupy the non-permanent seat on the UN Security Council. It's one thing. Our people who are deep into rural Liberia, and some of those who are also in Monrovia, citizens, they are curious. They want to know, and I want you to help to make them to know how does that also bring benefit to them, the fact that we've occupied our seat.
Well, several things. Number one, no matter what we do at home, peace and security is at the foundation for any success.
Okay.
So now you are sitting in a seat amongst people whose responsibilities are managing and avoiding insecurity, but managing the peace process. So your voice, we will be knowing where the emphasis are, peacekeeping, negotiations, so we will know them ahead of time, because mind you, even though we're sitting on the sea, we have to report to the constituency. And as nature will have it, a Liberian will be sitting there worried about seeing a red flag coming, and of course a light, our country. So we get that kind of thing that may bring stability. With stability now comes investment. And how does one at the Security Council seat help that? You see, when you're sitting on such a seat, there are a lot of negotiation back and forth going on. National interests come into play. Every night you will get a telephone call. Every day you will get delegates coming to your office to put forward their desires. During such negotiations, some of those places, they will have resources to help our country. And so if you take it from that global point of view, as I say, even though you have a broader constituency, or somewhere you are a Liberian, and when you see and smell a little opportunity, you immediately alert our embassy. Mr. Ambassador, your staff, so commercial people, or you send straight to Liberia, Ministry of Commerce, send this information to so people, and help to galvanize the kind of resources, the kind of information you need for us to bring some of those investment resources to Liberia. So that's another area. The third area is, you see, security and peace in one's country cannot be divorced from your capacity of your security forces, national security forces. In you sitting on that seat, you can see through where resources are to help build the capacity of your country's security forces. So you can do that. You can also sit there and you are walking the corridors and deal with some bilateral issues. Bilateral. So one of your colleagues comes from, say, country X, and talking with that colleague, you see Avenue. Look, man, why don't you all, or some delegate coming from Liberia to visit you guys? We are interested in our economic zone. So if you are skillful and you are sitting in that seat, and development-oriented person as well, you can do a lot to bring resources to your country. That's what I'm saying. You can, and I talk about resources both in public and private, and you can also help to strengthen your security forces on your ground to be able to protect your borders better. So there's a lot of things to be. There could be, I don't know much about it because I haven't been in the Security Council. I haven't really studied it in depth, but I'm sure capacity building issues may come up. Capacity building issues may come up. I had an experience addressing the Security Council when I was foreign minister, and we were trying to renegotiate the stay of UNMIL. The tenure of UNMIL had come. The French government was interested in not renewing it. The Americans were, haphazard about it. And I had to go there. The president sent me there to go and address them and plead with them. And I can tell you, we had the head of UNMIL here. She was there. And we spoke. And the whole day, the debate, and no decision was taken. So they decided, let us have recess, and we'll meet 2:00 tomorrow. That night, until 1 or 1 something, some of us were between members of the Security Council. So by the time we came back 2:00, the chairman just asked for consensus. Consensus was given, and UNMIL was extended. Those kinds of movements, if you're representing Africa, you can do a whole lot for Africa to start with. Because it's not just Liberia, it's Africa that you're representing there. And so, and you have a colleague there too. We have somebody from DRC. We all have to get our act together. We have to coordinate our activities, and we have to reinforce one another's arguments. These are the techniques, strategic move, or else that impact I was talking about may be an illusion.
Okay, it may be an illusion. We're hoping that it doesn't be. Now, Dr. Gabriel McIntosh, again, listeners, you can share the show still. We are still here. You can share the show on your Facebook page. Just go there, and where you have to search, you can tap Nighttime Heat, and then you share the show on your YouTube channel. You can just tap Nighttime Heat. You subscribe, and you also hit the notification belt, and then you are live on the program. Dr. Gabriel McIntosh, I know you must have listened to the president's post-victory speech after we won the seat. Okay, you listened to the president, and
I was in the hall.
Okay, you were in the hall, and in that speech, the president gave credit to some past leaders, including former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. And according to some political pundits, he snubbed his immediate predecessor, George Weah, and so that sparked a debate. That the president didn't treat Mr. Weah fair. Instead, some said that was being divisive. What's your take on that?
What says thou? Look, immediately he spoke. As I said, I was there, and my instant reaction was he should have called Omega. What do I mean by should have mentioned Omega? Whenever you say Alpha, the next logical thing is Omega.
Omega.
And Omega is a Greek word, talked of the last. Alpha, the first. So when people say Alpha and Omega, they are talking about the first and the last. No matter what your political inclinations are, no matter what your biases are, when you say Alpha, it must end with the word Omega. Are you following me?
I'm following you.
So
We are following.
when he said that, I said, where is Omega? That's my first instinct, which is basically a conceptual discussion, a conceptual interest. I'm gonna talk about Alpha and stop with Y or stop with W. I'm gonna go to Z. So that was my first conceptual issue. Then the second thing that comes to my mind on this question and this issue is the process that led us to that vote was started by the last president. And so he started it, he took it to a point, and through the ballot box, he was now relieved of the position to be able to continue. So the person who takes over, I must commend the president, because very rarely in Liberia, you become president, or even for a small club, I'm not talking about for a nation, for a small club, football club or social club, the person who takes over forgets where the other president has stopped certain good things. In this case, President Boyka did the honorable thing with the voice of the foreign minister. Look, this is a good thing. It should not die. Let's give it more momentum to see it to its logical conclusion. So the man who started it to that point played a role. I hope you get my point.
I'm getting a point.
He and his team played a role. So as a statesman, as a politician, as a leader, as a international person, you will call the word Omega. So somewhere in that, my second analysis, I think was, a misstep. Now, I've been following some of the debate. Some people say, oh, he did not respond when he was called upon. He had a chance to do that. Some people said, he did not go physically visit these countries, talk to his people. And so why should he be giving credit? But of course, if you start saying Joseph Jenkins Roberts, and you call in all these other people who were not discussing the Security Council seat, and the president who was talking about the Security Council seat is now, of course, the foreign minister did say it, but I'm talking about the president's speech, as you asked me, then something was not politically right in my judgment.
If you met the president, or if you had the opportunity to sit with the president, Dr. Gabriel McIntosh, will you look into his face and say, Mr. President, I think that was a misstep on your part? Can you tell him so I listen next time
Should
you
I
tell
look him in
him?
the face and tell him?
Mhm.
You say if I met the president, would I look in his face and tell him?
Yes, that was a misstep on his
Well, number
part.
one, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure that your program is usually monitored or should be monitored, and I'm sure when you're in this kind of strategic leadership position, you get the critical issues coming to you. So I didn't miss my word. I did not speak even in diplomatic terms. I spoke in pure, logical and professional terms. And so if I was sitting before him, I would just say it too. And I would say, Mr. President, now it has happened. Now your speech, the good part of your speech, will never amplify after it was given. I mean, I listened to the radios that morning, and practically everybody was just talking about this one issue. And all those good things that were in the president's speech, things that will uplift the soul of this country, things that will uplift the African pride. None of those things became issue of debate or discussion, except that the past president's name was not singled out. So it means, Mr. President, this is a process. So we just have to get to going forward. There's always room for amending. There's always room. You can always find what the British used to say, what you miss on the swing, you will get it on the roundabout. You miss it on the swing, you look for it and receive it and capture it on the roundabout. And you ask me what I mean. I'll tell him, I don't think he will frown on me being candid. And that's an advice.
Okay, Moses. Moses, you have a question? So that was the last question.
Yeah, Ambassador.
I like that.
Ambassador Gateway, well put. And honestly, what you have done tonight, you have brought a lot of education to the discussion. A lot of people don't even know what it means for a country to be a member of the UN, Security Council, and you really educated us. I hope that you would have been given the opportunity to provide the insight that you provided tonight prior to the election. That was very good. And the statement which you also made regarding, former President George Weah being left out. I think I agree with you. It was an error on the part of the president because, like you said, when you mentioned Alpha, then you are now under obligation to mention Omega. Especially somebody who initiated the process, and you're talking about reconciliation. You listen to the president when you were in the war. The president said Liberia has won. It's time for reconciliation. So how do you talk about reconciliation and you don't recognize your immediate, past president? That really stood out negatively. And all the good thing the president said was, that negative action, overshadowed that. And I just want to say thank you, for being so honest. Thank you.
Okay. So
that's why I'm glad. I'm going to say that's why I'm glad of this conversation, and the focus a great deal on faiths, the responsibilities, and because for me, after that day, this should have been the discourse over all radio stations. This thing we have won. What is in there for us? How do we capitalize on that? And how do we maximize our benefits? And that debate, we can get inputs on it from all walks of life, from the market woman, and that whole debate will then formulate itself into that strategic framework with which we will approach executing the seat. But I hope it's not all lost. I still think it is fresh. as I
Okay. Okay, so now let's try to take some calls.
which will be by
Okay, so let's try to take some calls.
calls.
Yeah, I want to get some calls. So just with me on the line. Let's try to get some calls quickly. Yes, let's take our first caller. Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Good evening. This is Madam Jemimah locally.
Okay.
My dear
Good
sister,
evening, Ambassador McIntosh, whom I respect so highly. Saba, I want to disagree with the ambassador when it comes to why President Joseph Boakai did not mention George Weah. The Bible says, spare not the raw, spare not the raw, and spoil the child, right? We must learn in this country, Saba, to give punishment to where it belongs. When people do wrong, whether you president, whether you senator, whether you are ambassador, I think we should be fair enough to say it straight. For me, I don't think I can be a diplomat. I will always be the person I am. Ambassador Weah were writing a letter as a son of this country to join hands with President Boakai and the foreign minister and the rest of the Liberians to make sure that we get seated at the Security Council, not to become non-permanent member of the Security Council. This is something that benefits Liberia. So President Weah should have put a selfish interest aside and look at the bigger picture and join hands to get this thing done, because he initiated it, but he did not implement it. He initiated it, but he did not implement it. So if the president wrote you with due respect, because you're former president of this country, and you refuse, you say you're not doing it. Your entire party members, the little clique are there, told you don't do it. If you do, we're not going to vote for you in 2029. And Ambassador Weah, who is the past president, refused to listen to his people. He refused to go to New York.
Hello.
President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf agreed. She took a letter and she went. Lima and Bowie went. All the other Liberians that have Liberian heart, we got one Liberia that belongs to everybody. So why is it that the press, why is it that Liberian people, some of the Liberian people, not all, some of the Liberian people not seeing our other side?
Okay.
Let's be fair. Let's if the president Weah is wrong on this side, we must be able to say, not just, oh, the president didn't call George Weah's name and he signed it. No.
Okay.
Fair, not wrong.
Okay. All right. Okay, you made a point.
We will punish him for doing that.
Okay, thank you, Jemimah.
Thank you very much.
You've made a point already. Let's take additional calls. 077-846-0793. Again, 077-846-0793. Or again, 077-846-0793. Our guest here is Dr. Togagiri McIntosh is our guest on the nighttime heat tonight to make us understand. Let's take this caller quickly. Good evening.
Papa, good evening.
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
This is Pastor David on this week. So let me say thanks to Honorable McIntosh. These are some of the things that we have been hearing on our subject. I heard the name, Dr. McIntosh, and I've always wanted to see him from partner as happy, and I hope I will want this. So, thank you. I think you spoke like a patriot. That's like a politician in Nigeria. Sometimes when they take it off, the government is always right. So for you be honest. And somebody said George Weah was called, he didn't go. So George Weah
it's not to be appreciated. I don't know. First of all, play the last one on the dress by President Weah. That was before the election. I think it was 2023. Play that for me. The other way is on record of informing us, 11 people, to our lawmakers, that at this time, in this year, the Bureau was obtained a non-permanent team. Again, from people who have short memory, who are forgetful, either their heads are very ununderstanding or they're politically drunk.
Okay. Okay. So we can continue with that. People have been very under the sun and politically drunk. Let's try to manage our words. We can refer to others in a demeaning manner. No, I will not sit down the show. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call, and we are live on the nighttime heat. Our guest here is Dr. Toga Gawe McIntosh. She's making us to understand what does it mean to be on that seat at the UN Security Council as a non-permanent member. Some of the requirements, some of what we need to do. We've been trying to educate us, and benefits as well. You've also been trying to educate us. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-460-793. Let's, as I'm sure we lost that caller, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. You call this number. You'll be live on the nighttime heat tonight. Again, 0778-460-793. Again, 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. But in the meantime, while we still await the calls, let's hear from Dr. Gawe McIntosh. I'm sure you heard Jemama Wolokoli. I'm sure by 10:15 or 10:20 we should be ending this show. Okay, let's do this caller quickly. Good evening. Oh, it seems our line should have a problem tonight.
So let me just briefly
respond.
Mm-hmm. When we say diplomacy, when they say you are a diplomat, that's a Latin word. Diplo, two tons. In other words, a seasoned diplomat could be looking you in the eyes, talking with you nicely, but in the mind, they are saying something else. And this is that whole thing. We saw it in history, where the ambassador carries a letter of peace when their people are bombing the other country. We saw that. So when you have a situation and you are a leader, and somebody have crossed the line, as in this case, my sister mentioned, then what you do diplomatically, you can call that Omega and follow it up with a sentence to expose the ineffectiveness, the unpatriotism that was demonstrated. You call Omega and then you follow it up with a sentence. Let me repeat. And when you follow up with that sentence then substantiate the non-patriotism of Omega. But if you just ignore Omega, with no reference to it, you leave the debate that is going on. Look what we talked about tonight. The Security Council, our ability to be effective, our ability to maximize our benefits, and callers are calling, and that essence of the debate, the essence of the real thing before us, no comment. But we went right back to what carried the whole debate after the president's speech. That president's speech, if we were to analyze it paragraph by paragraph, it was an excellent speech when it comes to international diplomacy. It was an excellent speech when it comes to beating our chest to our constituents. It was an excellent speech for those who voted for us. We don't want 127 or 129, we got 181. That's a marvelous thing. But all of those good things in that speech disappeared. Two-thirds or even the 90% of our conversation tonight focus on our understanding of the seat, what is required of us, and how Liberia can go and shine. And if you get caller after caller, nobody will touch on those issues. They will go right back to the question of why Mr. William was called or not called. It just tells you, that those little slippage can destroy the entire essence of a program. Yes, so that's a very powerful sentence I just raised. Those little slippages can cause an entire different events in the path of progress. Because it's just proven. All radio stations, I haven't looked at newspapers, but just an example right now. So many things to seek more clarification, to emphasize or re-emphasize so many things I've said, to not draw from those things and call upon the government and the people of Liberia to rally around it. No, we worried about why Mr. George Weah was called or was not called. So that's all I have to say to my sweet sister. Diplomacy requires a lot of swallowing and pretending. Let me use that word boldly, because that's exactly what the Latin word means. 2 tons. 2 tons. I'm talking to you, I'm thinking something else. And it's called for astute leadership. It calls for complete diplomacy, diplomatic reasoning. Nothing was going to be, nothing would have lost, as you said, Omega. And follow it up with a sentence. Omega, A, B, C, D. When the country needed Omega, Omega was putting, I mean, there's so many ways you can put it and get the message that you wanted to send, get it across, and save this debate.
Okay. Okay, 077-846-0793. Again, 077-846-0793. That's the number to call, and you are live. Share the show. Our guest here is Dr. Toga Dewey McIntosh. He's still here with us. Again, 0778-460-793. 0778-460-793. That's the number to call. And you are live on the nighttime heat tonight. 0778-460-793. Moses? Okay, let's take this call on the line quickly. Good evening. Good evening. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Let's hear from you.
Okay, I'm Mr. DPK calling from the Tibourville. What happened? For me, I have a security background, so I speak like a military man. I'm a military man. In the military, we got something called command and control. And we got something called falling. And when you are leading as a leader, and when time comes for you to fall in, the instruction will come fall in. That means it's about time to take instruction or to follow instruction from the person that is about to lead you. Because you do your part, and when you are in the lead, the honor man and listed man took the instruction from you, and it went well. This time, is this man who has been promoted? He's your leader now. So you bound to follow instruction. What I want to say in short is, listen, we are in a path that we all know. We cherish it a lot. But when it comes to Liberia, the American soldier, American president, they will all do diligence for the country, no matter how the country runs, no matter how the individual stand. So President Wa initiated, but you cannot blame Omer Bokar for what he said. For me, I think President Wa should start to think twice, to not listen to the people of the country. Sometimes those are all of us. Because in leadership, sometimes you need to work, command and control. If you cannot command and control, the owner man will control you and command you. So in short, President Obama did not do anything wrong. It's just a matter of fact that the people surrounding the board group are the ones that talk to him. But President Obama knows very well what Obama says is true. And I pray that Obama should not react if they him down and President Obama take over tomorrow. He should not repeat. He should do diligence for the country, for our country first, last, and forever. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, many thanks. I'm sure we'll be shortly closing. But before we invited to you, Dr. Gary McIntosh on the issue of the Security Council, which you've done extremely well in educating the public tonight. We really appreciate and we relish your being here tonight. But let's just try to hear from you, being a statesman, a nationalist, one who's highly respected. Just today, I'm sure you heard the news. Let's try to hold in something small. You heard the news about the arrest and subsequent detention of the former speaker, J. Fernando Kofa, and 4 others, in connection with investigation concerning the burning of the Capitol building. Were you startled? Were you somehow shocked when you heard about that? Especially where we've passed the crisis at the House of Representatives, went to elections, and a new speaker was elected. Were you shocked or you expected this?
Well, I wouldn't say. First of all, let me give clarity, because when I read, I didn't see the word arrest, unless after I read what I read, then arrest came. I saw the issue of questioning, come in for questioning, and which is a phase within an investigation framework. So you look for people of interest who may have relevant information to the case, and you call them in just to question. In that questioning exercise, you are hoping it will aid, it will give you some leeway, it will give you some direction into your next phase, which is now taking a decision. So I'm not sure what transpired today. You use the word arrest and detention. Is that what really took place at the end of it? I never followed that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Arrested, detained.
Dr. Lewe, as I speak to you right now, the former speaker and 4 other members of the House of Representatives, including Dixon Sewell, are currently incarcerated at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police. They have been formally charged. Initially, they were told to report to the police headquarters as people of interest or persons of interest for a probe into the matter. But later today, the director of police had a news conference, and he announced that they have sufficient evidence.
Okay. Well, sorry, I didn't.
Based on their findings, the speaker was charged with conspiracy, criminal conspiracy. He was charged with murder. He was charged with helping to finance the reported, arson attack at the Capitol. So let me stop there. Then Sobot can continue.
Yes, so Yes, go ahead. Let's go.
I definitely didn't get that part of the exercise. I think I was preoccupied with a lot of work. As I mentioned to Solver, my brother, that I was going to be home just about 8 something. I was really, I had a series of meetings today. But be it when a country goes through that kind of experience where a country stands on 3 legs and one of the legs is in some kind of limbo, and out of that limbo and so forth goes into a critical, I won't use the word crime, even crime, to put the house on fire. That one leg, we got 3 legs: judiciary, executive, and the legislative. That legislative branch was shaking, then there's fire. It took us months trying to get somewhere. The best thing to do is to bring this thing to a logical conclusion. We cannot go on in this thing of impunity. The fire, even if it happened by the electrical shock, we must bring it to its logical conclusion. If it happened by arsenal, deliberate arsenal, we must bring it to its logical conclusion. So when the thing I read early this morning to call in people of interest to further the investigation, I said this is one act to bring this thing to its final conclusion, which I welcome, because leaving things hanging and the whole question of something happened, oh, my people, let it be. And yet we're talking about a national symbol, one of the national legs. So I will welcome it coming to its logical conclusion. Now, those who conducted the questioning and who are in authority, if they think they have enough evidence or they begin to suspect some kind of leeway and they took a decision, that decision must be commensurate with the evidence. So if they are now locked up, they will have to tell the court or tell us, the public, what kind of evidence that led to that point. People who were called in for questioning are now detained. And I think this is where it is. But frankly speaking, this issue must be brought to its logical. We cannot go on with this whole thing. Oh, man, you lead the team, man. Let the team go over. We are setting bad precedents for our country. I think that's all I have to say. I need to study a little bit more, need to know on what basis any detention has taken place. We will know. It wouldn't take long for all of us to know.
Okay. Dr. Toga Dewey McIntosh, we really want to thank you for taking time off your busy schedule to appear on the program tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I really wish that the confidence that the world has imposed on us, that we effectively carry out our responsibilities so that we make Liberia proud, we make Africa proud, and even the world who voted for us will make them proud. Thank you very much for this evening.
Thank you, Dad. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dr. Dewey, quickly, Dad, before you leave, I just want to publicly acknowledge you and tell you thank you for the good job you did tonight. There was indeed a learning experience for every one of us. I hope that you would have been given the opportunity to provide the kind of education that you provided tonight prior to the election. A lot of people would have learned about what it means to be a member of the Security Council. It was very helpful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, Moses, I want to thank you also for continuously and regularly committing yourself to this panelist role that you play.
Yeah, thank So regardless of what we do, my first passion in life is journalism. So I always look forward to being a part of the discussion, especially discussing issues that really matter most, things that impact the lives of our people. I also want to tell you thank you for dedicating yourself, trying to line up, interviewees, coordinating with studio team. It takes a lot. And if
Surely.
you're doing this on a voluntary basis, it means a lot. I want to say thanks to you and the team in Monrovia for the great job everyone continue to do. Thank you.
Okay, Moses Sunday will be on the Monday, but before going, by God's grace, will be on Monday. But before going, let me just recognize some individuals who've been watching the program. Siliki Traorari, he been watching. He didn't say from where. Borges GK Lamadine from Pinzo City. Elijah S. Colley, say from Dupu Road, he's been watching. Clara Kuju Mala, very good friend, she's been watching. Razak Khanen, been watching, he didn't say. Anderson New Ron from Nimba County, he's been watching. Ophelia S. George said, I've been watching from my home. Maxwell Manuel from GS Road, he's been watching. Benjamin Kamabai from Sierra Leone, he said, I've been watching from Sierra Leone. Teddy Amos Conte Jr., you've been watching from Central Monrovia. Fumba Okeyen from Grounded Cape Makari. Pado Abraham Jacob Gartner, he didn't say where he's been watching from. And William Juma Gray from Pennsylvania, or from the USA. Okay, so thanks to all of you for your listening role, and thank you too for watching the program. Like we said, this program is basically intended to espouse the interests of our country, bringing all sides together, talking about the issues that concern our country. Thanks to my producers also, Sabo George is my name. Join us again on Monday by God's grace. We'll be here. Have a pleasant night.